I thought this would be the perfect time to kick off a video series of spring into new reads. So let's talk about my top 5 most anticipated reads of March. Hello friends, happy Wednesday. So very excited that you're here. So very excited for this video to be filming this. Yes, there are so many different releases coming out this March. I shared about my Shoujo release calendar. It did seem a little bit smaller than usual, and I don't feel like I'm getting quite, I don't know, I feel like I'm getting about the same amount. I'm thinking of like June, July, like the outpouring of manga releases that I'm so excited for. But today, let's focus on March. Since spring's almost upon us, that'd be a great time to sort of bring it back because I haven't done one of these videos in a hot minute. So let's go ahead and dive right in for number 1, Magical Girl Dandelion. My pre-order just came yesterday. I'm so excited to be holding this in my hand. If you're not familiar with this series, it is about our magical girl here. She is a young woman who has really aspired and wanted to be a magical girl, and her powers bloom and she ends up becoming a magical girl. But the thing is, Shade here, he is a fiend and he is considered the bad guy. The magical girls actually fight these guys and take them out because they can harm and affect society. But the thing is Shade is our magical girl's best friend. And so it's their story of working together, yes, working together, overcoming obstacles that are in their path, facing actual bad guys, seeing great redemption stories. This is a series that I keep up with digitally. We talk about the new chapter every time we get one. I love it so much, and I think this cover is just absolutely epic. I love what they did with the text font, like Viz Media's Shoujo Beat. They knocked it out the park, and the back is just absolutely awesome. I was so very excited. I will be rereading this, and I do have actually a first impression if you're curious about it because you guys voted for it. I didn't have the physical release then, but I have just loved it so much that I'm excited for it. I'm actually trying to get my oldest kiddo to read it because he's not really a fan of romance, like in anything that he reads. I'm like, well, this doesn't have any romance. He's like, it just needs a good story and good action and some fights. And I said, well, it's got all three. It's got all three. It's an instant win, you know? So hopefully I'll be able to give an update and say that yes, I was successful. I'm hoping. I'm very much hoping. Right now he's very deep into Jujutsu Kaisen right now. So I don't know if he will like step away from that to read this, but when he's done, yes. So I would definitely recommend this. If you have been looking for a magical girl manga, please check this out. It is wonderful. The art is fantastic, and really love our female lead and how she just, I haven't read much magical girl manga, okay? So I've only read Magic Knight Ray Earth, but I would say also if you want a little bit of horror elements, yes, we do have that. We do have that. I would not say this is a dark story. I mean, it has dark points, yes, but overall, I do feel like it's a pretty hopeful story. And what I was going to say is I feel like this one goes against what I feel has been told to me or impressed on me by the community in the sense of our magical girl does work with a bad guy. Like, people are like, you need to take the fiend out. And she's like, no. We're not going to take him out. I really enjoyed a lot, and I would just highly recommend it. If you haven't tried this, you go try the first 3 chapters on the Viz app. It's totally worth it. I have loved all the arcs, and I'm very excited to be holding this and read it physically for the first time. For number 2, and I would say crazy enough, all of the ones I'm most anticipating, I actually have in my hands, crazy enough. But yeah, for number 2, Perfectly Fine on My Own so my fiance can twist in the wind. I have literally gotten 3 different recommendations for this. I've already had it on pre-order. Pretty sure that I had this in my top 10 most anticipated releases of this year, and very excited to be holding it. Haven't had a chance to read it yet. I'm debating, honestly, as of filming this video, if I will read it in the school card line because that's just how stoked and excited I am. It's about our female lead here. She's engaged to this man. They've been engaged, I think, for several years, and she has just experienced heartbreak after heartbreak after heartbreak from him. He's not necessarily cheating on her, but he, I think, devotes so much time to his childhood best friend, who also I think is like she's also the princess. I'm not sure if he guards her, if he's just being a friend. There doesn't seem to be anything romantic there, but it's hurting her feelings. As his fiance, she is crushed, and rightfully so. So with her seeing that he's giving all his time to his best friend, his childhood best friend, excuse me, or childhood friend, one of those, she's like, well, why can't I go do things too on my own? And so that's where I think our title comes into play of her being perfectly fine on her own. She starts going out of her way to focus on her own happiness. I don't think they ever break up based off of the 2 other covers we have, because volumes 2 and 3 are up for pre-order. So I'm not really sure what happens, but I've heard overall that it's very good. Like, I think everybody has given it 5 stars, and like my friend Brie personally reached out to me and recommended it, and her recommendations are always like super on point. Like, not your typical reincarnation story, got into because of her. Very, very thankful. But yeah, I've just seen so many great things about this and cannot wait to dive in. I truly hope that it lives up to the hype from surrounding friends and also my own expectations, since it is in my top 10 most anticipated releases, which I guess this would be a good time to go into number 3, which is a manhwa, one of my other most anticipated releases, and that is The Makeup Remover. Actually, before filming this video, I went ahead, as promised, I filmed my first impression of this, and I had nothing but great and fantastic things to say about it. A huge shout and thanks to Inklore, who sent me a review copy. I was so touched, and just it was so unexpected. It was so unexpected. But in case if you're not familiar with this series, it is on Webtoons if you would like to try it out, just in case if I forget to say that. You can read it either with ads or you can buy the chapters. But it's about our main female lead. She is in college and she has just been continuously told that, you know, focus on your studies, focus getting good grades, getting into university, and eventually you can focus on makeup and beauty and have your glow up. Well, now she's in university and she has not had her glow up. She feels very ugly. She doesn't wear makeup or anything like that, but she wants to have a moment where she really genuinely feels pretty. So she ends up going to like this salon-like place and she asks them to, if they can do her makeup. It's the first time for her ever. She has a picture and she shows the picture to the guy, and the guy makes a very not cool face right there. And she's a little nervous, like, what was up with that face? But he's like, yeah, I could do it. And he does her makeup. And yeah, she does not look like the picture, period. When she ends up going to the bathroom, she accidentally uses the men's bathroom because she usually wears glasses. But when she got her makeup done, she didn't have her contacts in or glasses. So she ends up, going to the men's bathroom. And she hears the guy trash talking about her and berating her of like, why did an ugly person think they could ever look as pretty as the girl in the picture? So she storms out of the stall, and when she does, she meets the male lead, and through some circumstances and him even revealing a secret to her, she finds out he's a very famous makeup artist and he's wanting to compete in this makeup reality TV show, and he needs some inspiration, a muse of sorts, and he wants her face specifically. And she's like, no, I don't know why you're choosing me, have you seen how I look like, kind of thing. But he's like, no, you're the one that I want. She eventually gives in and agrees due to reasons, and so unfolds this story. I loved this first volume so much. I feel it was in my top 10 most anticipated because I had just heard so many great things. Several people, and it was sort of, I think, what sold me over, is they're like, if you wanted something more from the very popular manhwa anime True Beauty, this is what you need to read. And I've read the first 2 volumes of True Beauty, and while I did enjoy quite a bit of the first volume, I didn't really enjoy the second volume nearly as much, and I feel that this was going to give me something a little bit deeper that I was looking for. And I feel, spoiler alert, that yes, it did give me that something deeper, and I have nothing but high recommendation for it if you haven't tried it out. And I think overall, it's just a manhwa that I was just excited for. Like, I love manhwa so much, and I have to be very, very picky. Like, I'm picky with my manga because I'm on a pretty strict budget, but with manhwa, I have to be even pickier. And so it's like, when I see these manhwa that I'm very excited for, The Makeup Remover being one of those, and Not Your Typical Reincarnation Story being another, I just get so excited. And also I have to, because it came to mind, I shall master this family, because it's coming. We talked about in a manga news video and how excited I was and how I was like, how did I not know? Because it was licensed last year. But yeah, I just felt very excited to get this kind of story that everybody had just really high things to say, and I think it definitely lives up to the hype, and I cannot wait to share that first impression video with you, I think, next Friday. For number 4, I am saying Twisted Wonderland, the Book of Scravia. Oh my goodness. I also read this one and have a first impression in that same video with The Makeup Remover. I'm so excited for this one because it's Twisted Wonderland, okay? I love the game so much. I play it every day. It is one of my favorite things to do. I deeply enjoy the characters very, very much. So knowing we were getting another Twisted Wonderland manga, instant anticipation anticipation and excitement for it. I probably should have said a shoujo, but I do feel after reading this first volume, it does have some shoujo-like vibes. Usually hesitate to say that, but the art style was just so soft and reminded me of shoujo. I mean, like in that video, I'm pretty confident I said that even the guys have eyelashes, and that's usually something you'll find in shoujo manga. Yes, the guys can have eyelashes in shonen manga, but I don't feel it's quite the same as the eyelashes were in this manga, as funny as that is to say. But in case if you're not familiar with this, you do not need to be a fan of the game or have played the game. I do think your enjoyment of this, though, will be significantly greater if you're familiar with these characters. You do not have to have already read the previous manga that we have of the different arcs and different stories. I think, yeah, your enjoyment would be greater because you would know some of the backstory, the lore of those said characters. But for this one specifically, we have a female Yu following this time around, and she is a Gairu, and she looks so cute. I absolutely love her. She's easily my favorite Yu out of the series because with each of the series, they are changing it from male to female and so forth, and I'm very excited. I love that they're doing that. Even though at first, I'll be honest, I was not a fan. I was like, no. But having read the manga with both the female Yus now, I do enjoy it a lot. Our Yu here is taken out by Carriage-kun like all the other Yus, and is taken to Twisted Wonderland despite that she has no kind of magical ability. So she's at this magical school, and they're trying to find a way for her to get back home. At the time in this story, it is, I believe, winter holiday, winter vacation, and everybody's getting ready to go back home. Well, you know, you can't because they don't know of a way for her to get back to Japan, to her actual home. So she is being tasked with a certain job while everybody else is away, doing whatever she needs to do back at Twisted Wonderland, back at the academy. Well, as she's doing the job that she has been given, they smell some food, aka Grim. He smells some food coming from the kitchen. They go in and they see Jamil, that he is preparing a meal, and he says, hey, you know, everybody from our dorm is there, which is odd because everybody else, like she says goodbye to her friends, Deuce and Ace at the beginning, because they're going back home. And it's like, oh, nobody from your dorm is going back. And supposedly Kalim here, who is the house warden, is saying that because they were in last place in the Spell Drive tournament, which is a popular, I guess you would say, sports event that happens, because they were last place and they're not doing well in the grades compared to the other dorms, that they have to like study for like 6 hours a day or something like that, and then they have to do magical practice on top of that. And so Jamil's like, hey, why don't you come join us? Yu's a little bit unsure. She's like, I really don't know. But then something happens where the color of her eyes change and she ends up saying yes. He's like, oh, well, great. And Grim, of course, is 100% on board because free food, hello, he's gonna be there. And they end up going to the dorm, which was absolutely beautiful, by the way. See right here. They end up going and they're eating and they're having a great time, but then Kalim comes and everybody's like really nervous because he's looking like this, and they're like, oh my goodness, like something bad's gonna happen. And you know, like Grim's standing right here, this guy's sort of scary, but then he's like this, he's so excited to see them. He's full of this vibrancy and this energy and so much excitement, and he's just like, man, let's have a festival, a feast, because we have guests here visiting our dorm. It seems like everything's going great. Yeah, the weird thing happened, but everything's fine. And yeah, so begins this adventure that seems fun. But again, why is Kalim acting very weird, where it's like two different personalities? And so Yu's trying to figure that out alongside Grim, who is just sort of there for the food, and also just hopefully have a great time as well. Again, this is one of my most anticipated releases of March because it's Twisted Wonderland. I love it so much. This isn't even my like favorite part story in the game, though I really love the Aladdin inspiration a lot. That's one of my favorite Disney princess movies, so I definitely feel like I have a fondness for it. But I guess I was just very surprised of how invested I was in this volume, and I definitely talk a whole bunch more about that. And I really love this cover. I would say it's easily my favorite cover from any of the volumes that we've had thus far. I just think it's very magical, and I love their poses and the dynamics. Like, it was really great. So very excited that we're getting another Twisted Wonderland volume this month. Like, yes, if you're a Twisted Wonderland fan, please check it out. I think you will really enjoy it. I did say in that video that this is my favorite volume of any of the volumes we have thus far, but I'm not gonna tell you why. You'll have to wait for that video, but I am so stoked we have it, and truly hope we're missing one last Twisted Wonderland manga that we do not have in English yet, and hopefully they will give it to us because I've just loved the series, the manga, just so incredibly much. For number 5, last but not least, we finally, I think it's been like a year since we got a new volume, and that is The Fiancé Chosen by the Ring, Volume 7. I love this series, and I don't have a video review, and I need to do that because, man, this series is a wonderful romantasy series. It is about our female lead. Now, it's not like the spoiler, not the blurb for Volume 7. I'm just saying in general, but it's about our main female lead. Her name is Aurora. She's very drawn to how people make their clothes, like the style of their clothes, like there's a certain word, it's not so, embroidery. She really loves embroidery. Like, she'll go to these balls and these parties, and that's what she's admiring, is all the embroidery on the different dresses, and she herself does do it as well. And when she's at this one certain party or this ball, she is just, you know, appreciating everything as usual, nothing out of the blue, until a ring, I think, hits her like in the forehead. She picks it up, confused, not understanding why this ring just hit her, and that's when our male lead comes out, Felix, and is like, "You are my fiance. The ring has chosen you." And she's like, what? And come to find out, he was under the influence, and he deeply apologizes. He was just trying to, he's a very handsome young man, so he has all the ladies that are wanting his time and attention, and he's just wanting to, you know, be able to attend a party peacefully and not worry about it. So he came up with this idea of having the ring choose someone for him. But the thing is, even though they've agreed to sort of keep this for their own benefits, because she's like, oh, well, I could come to these parties and see the embroidery, so it's a win for her as well, they begin to have feelings for each other, and it is the sweetest, fluffiest thing. I love it so much. I've seen people say it's boring, and I'm like, no, you gotta go in with that expectation of the fluff, That's what we're reading here, like, we're reading for, excuse me. Yes, there are a few moments that do have unexpected action, and I really enjoy those parts, but the fluff, the romantic fluff, that is why it's in my top 5 most anticipated releases of March, because the fluff, I've missed them so much. Like, I have reread the earlier volumes several times because it just makes my heart happy. It doesn't require a lot of thought in the sense I've got to remember certain details. No, I just see what's coming about and seeing her enjoy embroidery and then seeing their romance bloom. Like, it is so precious and so sweet, and it has been so satisfying seeing things happen in some of the later volumes. I do feel like the action has picked up, and this one seems, I don't know what happens, but like, it has the lady, it says lady in waiting, and it's in pink, and before that it says Aurora's name in pink. So something is happening with her. I guess it had to be her being a lady in waiting, because she's not royalty and Felix is not royalty, I believe. So something is gonna go down, and I'm very excited because I believe I gotta do a refresher with Volume 6 since it's been so long. But I'm pretty sure for Volume 6 that it ended on a really cute, wholesome, precious note. And I'm just like, what happens next? I need to know. And also, I would like to say a huge thank you to Yen Press for sending me a review copy. I want to dive into this one next because, also, yeah, perfectly fine on my own. I don't know. I wish I could like just read all day, but I have been filming all day instead. But yes, all of these, I mean, I guess technically I've read the other 3 already, and I haven't read these. So yes, these are very high on my TBR, and those are everything. These are my top 5, not everything, but my top 5 that I'm really excited is releasing this month, or has released in the case of Magical Girl Dandelion. Yes, I'm so excited. But I would love to know, are any of my top 5 most anticipated releases, are they on your list as well? What are you looking forward to coming out, whether it's a shoujo or some other demographic? I would love to know, because, you know, I had to sneak in my Twisted Wonderland, though I did see that Kaiju number 8 volume 15 is finally coming out. So very excited, because that's like the one shonen series that I'm following when it comes to like action. Yeah, so let me know down below, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!